Well, good morning. I'm Santa Clarita Mayor Cameron Smyth, and I wanted to get together this morning and provide an update to ensure that everyone has the most up-to-date information regarding the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic. As most of you probably are already aware, yesterday afternoon, Governor Newsom announced sweeping new guidance regarding the treatment and the response to COVID-19. First, and probably most concerning to many of you, is the guidance around the self-isolation of our seniors. It is directed that if you are over the age of 65, that you should consider home isolation. But it's important to know that the Santa Clarita Senior Center, while closed, is still continuing with their drive-through meal program. So while the isolation guidelines are in place, if you are a senior or you have family members that are in that age group and they want to have access to meals, they can still go to the senior center and pick something up for lunch. So going forward, that is still in place. Additionally, the governor has called for all bars and nightclubs and wineries and breweries to be closed, and is asked that all restaurants operate at 50% capacity and really focus on delivery and pickup services. Also, the CDC has issued a new directive that all events, even up to 50, should be canceled, or 50 plus should be canceled. Before, those guidelines were a little bit higher of a number, but the CDC has now reduced those for the next 8 weeks, and we certainly encourage everyone to continue to comply with that. Los Angeles County yesterday announced that they will be closing all of their facilities. And again, City Hall remains closed to the public. However, we are operating with our essential staff in case there are emergencies or needs. Law enforcement in Santa Clarita remains operational at full capacity. Our street crews and others still remain operational. So if there are issues, you can still reach out to City Hall or our local sheriff's station. A few things to keep in mind as we go forward, and I think all of you have seen this. And unfortunately, Santa Clarita was featured in some local news, area news, about the issue of hoarding at our local stores. And I encourage everyone to please keep in mind that you have neighbors, whether they be seniors or people with other mobility issues that aren't able to wait in line for hours, aren't able to hustle in to get to their supplies they need. So please keep that in mind. Stores are restocking on a regular basis, and while you see a depletion in some items, more is coming, and those companies are working hard to replenish their shelves. Also, the Santa Clarita Water Agency does not anticipate any disruption to our local water supply, so you can again access through your taps and continue business as usual at home. I think most of you probably heard that Santa Clarita has now had 3 confirmed cases of the virus. All 3 of those people are recovering at home, and those who may have come in contact with these positive cases either have already or soon will be contacted by the LA County Department of Public Health and will be asked to quarantine for 14 days. Those who, again, if you suspect you may have the virus or are concerned, the guidance is not to call 911, not to go to the emergency, but reach out to your primary physician and take guidance from there. Please keep in mind that a vast majority of those who do contract the virus recover fully, but we must continue to take those precautions to protect those who are most vulnerable to contracting the disease and having, or the virus, and having the serious impacts. So, like the governor mentioned, while these are guidelines, the expectation from both the state and the city is that we will follow them. The governor has alluded to maintaining and retaining enforcement capabilities if these directives are not followed, and that is certainly not something that we would like to see. And so I encourage everybody to follow these guidelines voluntarily, because the sooner we do that, the sooner we're able to flatten the curve, as they say, and be able to return to a normal life and a normal schedule. I know the one question I've received the most over the weekend is in response to the City of Los Angeles and Mayor Garcetti's directive that went beyond the state directive to call for the closure of bars, nightclubs. In the city of LA, they have dictated that the restaurants be closed to in-person service. They have also closed some entertainment venues, bowling alleys, arcades, as well as the closure of all fitness centers and gyms. Currently in Santa Clarita, we have no plans to follow the city of LA's model. We are going to remain in compliance with the direction of the state of California and the county. However, we are already seeing a number of businesses, particularly gyms and fitness centers, that have voluntarily decided to close their doors for a period of time. And that's the type of leadership that we need. The more people voluntarily take these steps, the quicker we're able to come out of this pandemic. So again, I ask that businesses take that into account. Certainly prepare to allow your employees to work from home when available, and continue to monitor your local media, as well as here at the city, for updates. Because as we all know, things are changing very quickly. Directions are coming out of both Sacramento and Washington, D.C. That could change everything I'm saying right now very, very quickly. And I do want to just offer one last word of thanks to our healthcare workers, our law enforcement, and those that are working at our retail stores, particularly the grocery stores. They are working around the clock and under very difficult conditions to ensure that we have whether the food supplies we're looking for, the public safety, getting the healthcare treatment that we need. And let's please keep that in mind when we're visiting the stores, that many of these people are your neighbors and are working tirelessly on our behalf. Santa Clarita is no stranger to challenges. Just in the last 6 months, from having the largest evacuation in the city's history as a result of fires, of course, the unimaginable tragedy at Saugus High School. In years past, we've had earthquakes and other natural disasters, and Santa Clarita always comes through to take care of one another and to come out of this as a strong community that's an example for others. And I have no doubt that we will do the same here as we deal with the coronavirus. So at this point, I'm happy to take, if there are any questions coming through on Facebook Live, I'm happy to try to answer them to the best of my ability.